Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the man, myth, the legend, the one and only Millennial Mike. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man. So over the last year or so, you've had several conversations with me around crypto. You have educated me on it. Certainly an area where you are far more experienced than I. So I've got to ask, dude. Crypto winter, nuclear winter.
Right.
It's all going to zero. It's all a fraud. It's all a Ponzi scheme. You see the headlines. So what's really going on out there? Is it all going to zero? Are there going to be some winners? What do you think?
Well, as much as Dion would like to laugh in the comments that it's all going to zero, it's not. I'm sorry, Dion. It's just not. So you and I had conversations about crypto several times over the last year. And one of the main things we talked about was how it was overhyped, how there was a bunch of bad actors in the space who were taking advantage of the energy behind it, creating coins that were worthless and useless. Because everybody, with the Fed just printing money and giving out stimulus checks, everybody is like, I got money, let's invest it in something. Maybe it'll go up 100x and I can retire. I mean, we had two back-to-back meme coins, Dogecoin, and then someone else created Shiba coin. And I'm looking at Shiba coin like, there's no way it's going to happen twice. Sure enough, millionaires were made, unfortunately. But now, as the tide goes out, we're figuring out who was out there swimming naked. Now, does this mean that cryptocurrency as a whole is going to go down? I'm going to actually read a couple stats before I share my page with you. But what I wanted to talk about were some of the previous Bitcoin crashes that we had. So in 2011, Bitcoin fell 99%. Now, at this point, it had skyrocketed to $32. This was its first real big push. Remember, Bitcoin came about 2009. Okay. Skyrocketed to $32 a coin, then fell all the way down to a penny. Right?
Really? And what year was this?
This was 2011.
2011 went to $32 down to a penny. I did not know that.
Down to a penny, and it survived. I know a lot of people don't know how many crashes it's really truly had. So it survived a 99% fall. You know who else did? Amazon went 98% down from its all-time high during the dot-com bubble burst. Now, what's interesting is that it crashed, but it recovered. It recovered enough that in 2012 it crashed again 56%. In 2013, this was the first time that an exchange was ever hacked. If you know the crypto industry, you know the Mt. Gox, the Mount. Gox hack was the first ever major issue with crypto. Now, Bitcoin is a solid technology, and there's a lot of theory that it can't be hacked. But the exchange like Coinbase or Binance, the exchange where the coins are actually traded, those can be hacked. And when the Mt. Gox exchange was hacked and then went out of business, 83% fall in 2013.
Wow.
And then again, later in 2013, a 50% fall. Now, here's the first crash that most people are familiar with. Most people started paying attention to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin back in 2017, when it went on its original run from $1,000 valuation per coin up to a $20,000 valuation per coin in late 2017. It then went on to crash over the next year. 84% fell all the way down to as low as like $3,000. It was really bad. And then from 2018 until 2020, it kind of just hovered in that area, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, got as high as 10, but really never even came close to recovering its previous value. And then it went on its giant run to where we had our all-time high last year of 69,000. But unfortunately, right now, if anybody's looked, right today, it's at like 21,000. That's a hefty amount off. Now, if you'll let me share my screen with you, if I can figure out how to do it. Okay, let's. There we go. Okay, let me share this right here. I want to direct people's attention to this little chart. A lot of people focus on the Bitcoin highs. But I think it's important to focus on what was Bitcoin's low each year, and you're going to notice a trend. That every single year, except for 2015, the lowest amount that Bitcoin traded for consistently and continuously increases. Now, if you go all the way down here to 2022, you're going to realize, okay, well, we're going to add another year where it actually was lower, because our low so far for 2022 was 17,500.
Okay.
But when you look at this chart, as much as you might hate the idea of it, hate the technology, think that it's stupid, you don't understand it, it continues to gain value every year. And I think that's because what you and I have talked about, there are legitimate uses for blockchain technology. And aside from selling pictures of bored apes, there are legitimate uses for NFTs, converting the title of your house or title of your car to a digital asset that cannot be hacked or tampered with, but can easily be checked, verified, and transferred to person. There is legitimate value there. All right, I'll stop sharing this. So anyways, your thoughts. Is this the culling that we predicted, or is this just the end of Bitcoin, Mike?
Well, I certainly hope it's the culling for sure. I would like nothing more than 80% of these frauds to go to zero. I would love to see some people in orange jumpsuits. We have to punish bad actors.
Yes.
Frankly, it was something we didn't do in the Great Recession. I believe only one banker went to jail in the Great Recession. Yeah. I hope it is clear some folks are going to go bankrupt, right? They're going to be sued to bankruptcy. That's not enough. I think we got to get some people in orange jumpsuits and maybe turn their pictures into NFTs or something. Because we got to remember this.
Yes.
It's not okay to steal money. And I think there are some people that were stealing money. It's some of these were Ponzi schemes or frauds of some type, if they're not technically a Ponzi scheme. I think people were promising 8, 10, 12, 16, 20% interest for staking coins. Really? Did anybody not think logically that was a problem? I mean, Really? Come on. There's a big saying in banking, right? If you borrow short and lend long, you're going to go broke eventually. I don't know why people didn't think that would happen. There were some structural problems. And then we have the arrogant CEO with that damn shirt. Celsius CEO says something like, "Don't trust banks." Oh, so I should trust you, you dumbass? Yeah. I mean, that's just some people need to go to jail. What they did was wrong, and it's not okay. And people lost real money because they believe the hype, and that's just unfortunate. But at the end, I think the foundation of the winners will be bigger. I think what happened also is a lot of the engineering talent got spread out chasing fakeness. What you're going to see now is the best and brightest will consolidate around half a dozen coins. And I think we'll see more innovation in the next 2 years than we have in the last 5. Because again, you thin the herd, the frauds go bust, the terrible talent goes away, and the best and brightest focus. And just like the .com era, dude, I was around for Webvan and pets.com and around for Amazon's 98% collapse.
Yeah.
Some people, there will be an Amazon. There will probably be 2 or 3 of them. And it's only going to be 2 or 3 of them. It's not going to be 300 of them. But yeah, so I'm excited. Again, as somebody who's got a little money put on the line, I'm going to sit back and watch. It's just an insurance policy. I'm not an investor, not a speculator. I'm a guy with an insurance policy.
Yeah. So to what you said about putting people in jail, I'll give my law enforcement perspective as a police officer. The downside with what we've got going on here is it is a very unregulated industry or sector right now. The laws cannot catch up with and keep up with what is currently being invented. So these guys probably are going to be able to skate by. A lot of them are going to get by. And at the end, maybe 1 or 2 bad actors might go to jail, just like we saw with the recession. I hope that it's more, because a Ponzi scheme is a Ponzi scheme, whether you do it, with cryptocurrency or some other type of a business plan. But unfortunately, they're all smart enough to hire lawyers that said, hey, it's unregulated. There's no rules yet. We can do and say whatever we want. And we just say, oh, it's an asset, or it's a risk-based investment. You could lose all your money. We did our disclaimer. We're good. And unfortunately,
all I know is the United States government got Al Capone on tax evasion. There are lots of rules and laws out there that if they really want to get some of these guys, and again, I seriously put their head on a platter, make them go to zero, restitution, and put them in jail. They make them show up in orange jumpsuits. It has to happen.
I'll make the arrest myself. Just send, I'm in Washington. There's a lot of tech stuff around here. Maybe I'll get the chance.
There you go. Well, do me a favor. Where can people find you? Because you do some amazing stuff about out-of-state investing.
Yeah, most of what I talk about on my YouTube channel, which is just titled Millennial Mike, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, type it into Google, is how to invest at a distance, how to invest out of state, because I live on the very expensive West Coast and I invest in the much more user-friendly Midwest. But if you do have some questions about Bitcoin, I'm happy to answer those as well. Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Awesome. Thanks again.